Good afternoon and good morning to you all. My name is Jim Lanny, and I'm the founder or co-founder of Intellectus. And we're going to work through some qualitative analyses today and show you what we have here. And hopefully the goal is to really forward people with qualitative data where it's not this arduous weeks, months process, literally, of coding and excerpting and thematizing data, and that we can use AI to complement our brains and do some quality thematic analysis. So the first thing with this tool or with other tools is that really how you input the data really makes a difference. So the typical standard way is that you would have X amount of interviews, and you are going to enter 10 interviews, enter them in, interview 10 interviews, 10 individual interviews. But there's also other ways to enter it. One is by interviewer question. So sometimes the semi-structured interview has certain questions around different domains. Well, I might want to break up my 10 interviews, for example, and have 10 separate interviews just around those first few questions that deal with extrinsic motivation, and then divide up the data into others that are dealing with intrinsic motivation. I had a military person that was looking at stuff by land and by sea. Other use cases are we're looking at it by teacher or by supervisor. So you have these interviews, but if you want to do any kind of comparison with respect to themes, you need to enter those in differently. So again, you can do it by study aim or by interview question or by some other domain. And it just makes, again, particularly if you want to do any kind of comparisons, I want to see if superintendents different from teachers in their perceptions of leadership. You got to run them separately. Thereafter, by the way, then you're going to be, presenting results perhaps in a fashion like, hey, here's the themes that overlap between supervisors and teachers. Here's some themes that just are for supervisors, and here are some themes just for teachers. So be cautious about, cautious isn't the right word. Be strategic about how you're entering in data to get the kind of focused results that you're looking for. Okay, I guess we're going to move right into logging in. So everyone can just jump onto that link. You can also put questions into the Q&A. I'm sorry, into the Q&A. Is it into the chat or into the Q&A?
Either one, but Q&A we prefer.
Okay. What technology we need to know? Well, I don't think you need to know any technologies. We've kind of done the programming behind it. So all you have to do is think of good research questions and be doing a thematic analysis, and we're kind of there. Okay. Are there other kinds of, there's more here, there's Q&A. What do we do? Okay, jumping right into it here. So what do we do to prevent plagiarism? Do we cite Intellectus in the text? So yes, for sure, you can cite Intellectus Qualitative. A, B, all of the excerpts are from the interviews. The suggested AI code names and descriptions and AI suggested themes and descriptions, yes, you should edit those, okay? All right. Okay, so I'm going to keep moving here for a second. So let's just go through a kind of inductive protocol. So what do I mean? This is the process one might use when I have a set of interviews, I've uploaded my data, and what is the process? So here is one such process. So upload the data, or you can upload audio or video. It can be transcribed. the nominal cost. You absolutely have to read and reread the qualitative interviews. Even if you've done the interviews, may have been a little bit of time. So, because you're the only person to kind of vet those and make sure that those are quality themes, but you're not going to know if that's true unless you have that knowledge of the interview. So you need to have the data uploaded and things thoroughly understood. Okay, then we have an AI functionality, which is the tool will go in and will find important excerpts. It will then collapse important excerpts and then generate a suggested code name and description. Then you'll have to do that as a, to vet those to make sure that this is a worthwhile code and description. Also, then we'll move into, so now we have excerpts and a bunch of codes. So now we want to collapse those codes. So we have a functionality that helps figure out how many themes can represent all of those codes. And then once that number has been validated and said, okay, this seems like a reasonable amount, then it's going to suggest a theme name and theme description and those codes that go with it. As with the codes, you're going to have to refine those themes, edit those themes, and make sure that they all gel together. Then we have a research question theme alignment. What does that mean? Well, what that means is that when you upload your research questions, it will look to tie together your themes to those questions and then provide an AI rationale for why they go together. All right. And then obviously that needs to be looked at. So, and you can download your analysis, but there's also this Kappa component that if you want to assess interrater reliability, we have that functionality to kind of do that in a very seamless, streamlined way. Where I was going with that. We also have a deductive process. It's very similar to the inductive process, but in the deductive process, you're coming in with your own codes and a priori codes, and then it's going to go and identify other excerpts that support that in that data. But the rest of the process is similar. Okay, we'll get to questions and answers, and we'll get to if you want more support around if you're a faculty, if you're a student, if you have general questions, you want a consultation, but at least you can take a picture of that with your phone if you'd like to kind of say, we may not be here for the whole thing, but there you go. So, okay. All right. So with that being said, let's just move into the tool itself. So it's a web-based tool. Okay. So there's no, downloading or updating or things of the sort. And so if you're ready with your, well, if you do not have data, just follow along. If you do have data, follow the plan. So first is to create a project. First of all, does anybody have problems getting to this page? If you do, jump into the
Q&A and let
or
us
the
know.
chat, okay, and let the and let everyone kind of help figure out how to get. Let me just take a breath there. So if you're struggling with that, go ahead and reach out through the chat or the Q&A so we can get everybody on the same page, and we'll just take a moment there. All right, so hopefully you're logged in to qualitative.intellectus360.com projects. So first thing you do is create a project. And for those with data, just go to new project, create a project name, okay? All right. And then if you would, and I should have primed you for this earlier, cued you, that if you have research questions, put those in there, okay? So create a project name, add research questions as you go, okay? And then create project if you have data. once you're in there, let me just follow along that path. Once you're in there, once you're in there, you can then go to add transcripts, and then you can upload your files, text files, audio files, or just paste in a blank document. So that's what you're going to do. So once you get in there, go to add transcripts. Really should be add data, I think. But okay. All right. For those that do not have data handy, no problem. We're going to just go to create project. Instead of uploading new project, we just go to sample project, and then just pick pick any one of these that you'd like. Okay. So I'll just go ahead and pick the transcripts of psych counseling. And then what it's done is it's uploaded those 4 interviews, 2 around anxiety, 2 around depression. We have the data sitting here, with the interview sitting here. And just again, if you have any questions along the way, please send them to staff that's here to help you. Okay, so once we have the interviews in, we're then going to go to AI tools and go to inductive coding. So as I mentioned, it's selecting excerpts, organizing excerpts, and then developing a code name and description for those set of excerpts. So that's the first step. I should also say that this is an AI process, but in a moment I'll show you a manual process as well. Well, for the moment, this is the AI going in with no excerpts, no codes, no themes. Okay, so it has identified 23 codes and 54 excerpts. For the moment, I'm just going to preview and apply the project. We can have a conversation about, hey, gosh, which ones, how many codes should we keep? Should we keep one with just one example of it? Maybe not. Okay. So that's the first step of AI coding. Just so you know, you can also code in 2 other ways by selecting an excerpt, going to add code and AI assist. And what that's going to do is to take that interesting pattern that you've identified and suggest a code name and description. So here's kind of a hybrid version. Okay. You select the excerpt, it helps suggest a code name and description. We also have manual coding where you can have a manual code. So you can create a code name and description and then select an excerpt, okay, and then tie it to that manual code by hitting the plus button. Okay. All righty. 3 ways to code. Let's go ahead and go get some themes now. So well, let me say one other thing about code, sorry. So when you have these AI codes, you want to go into each one of these 3 dots. Okay. Do that. And you're going to want to vet those. Pardon me. So those 3 dots, you want to go to details and then look to see the suggested code name and description. You can edit these right here, by the way. Okay. All right. So, and make sure the excerpts all hang together with that code. So 3 ways of coding, AI, validate each of these codes. Now let's go to themes. So again, we're going to go to AI tools and to automatic thematizing. Here it's doing a few things. One is it's going to discern how many themes are appropriate for all of those codes. Here the AI said 11. Well, but you can change that, okay? All right, and let that just say, hey, look, there's 20 of them. You know, it's difficult to wrap our brain around it. So you can edit the number of themes and then apply that to the project. And what you see here is the theme has got that icon, and then the code has got that icon. Okay, and then theme and codes. All right. So, and then as you did for the AI codes, you want to vet the AI themes, and you do that by going into those three dots again, into details, and then looking at that suggested name and description. You'll see the codes that were associated with that theme, and then the excerpts you will have vetted already. So AI thematizing right here. You can also go through and have an AI hybrid version by saying, hey, what is the theme of these guys here? Okay. So it's going to look at the code that you've highlighted and then suggest a theme name and description. Okay. Hybrid theme. The other way is a manual theme. Okay. Okay. And here, so you can see the where is my manual theme? Right here. All right, and then you can move. By the way, you can move entire themes under a theme or a particular code underneath the theme. So you can have three levels of I'll say a typical use case, codes under a theme. We call it a day. But for those that want to go another step, you can have a theme, a sub theme, and then the codes underneath. So you can have three layers here. So what have we done thus far? So what we've done is that we've created a project, we've uploaded data or have a sample data set. We've identified three ways to add codes: manual, hybrid, AI. We had three ways to add themes: manual, hybrid, AI. Now we have vetted those. Okay. All right. So now let's go into insights. In the insights document, what I like to do first is go to the bar chart and to the codes. What I have is my codes laid out in the y-axis. And then here you can see, this isn't the perfect example, but you have the four interviews here. And then this is the representativeness of each of the interviewees with the code, and then how many excerpts are in each. Again, this is not the best example in the world, but typically you want to have representativeness via the interviews in these codes. But maybe this is a better example. This is with the themes. Okay. So for this first theme, experiential dimensions, I have three of my four folks are in there with several excerpts. Well, this was just one, but 6 excerpts here and 5 excerpts here. So you can see, get a kind of a snapshot of, hey, that may be a great theme. It's representative among participants and the several excerpts. Here, perhaps no. Okay, I have only one interviewee with only 2 excerpts. So conversations can be had about the quality of those themes. All righty. The next thing that we can do, and then we should probably just jump into folks' live stuff, is the research question rationale. Here, I've previously put in a few research questions. Okay, how do individuals describe the impact of anxiety and depression on their daily lives, including work, relationships, and well-being? So that's the research question, and the question is, which themes go with that question? Well, you can use AI built into the tool to identify, it's found that those 4 can go with that. By the way, I kind of like to put them all in there because I can easily delete it after. But I want it for my consideration. I like to kind of look at the whole shebang with respect to themes. So for the moment, we have these 4 themes go with that. And when you hit submit, what it does is it generates a document which has the research question. Then it has the one theme. And then this is the rationale for why that theme might go with that research question. This is another theme. And here is that rationale, why that theme goes with that research question and so forth. So we're looking to build out the results document, and we're doing that by obviously creating excerpts, codes, and themes, and then associating the theme with the research question, step 1. Step 2, do a deep dive into each theme. So I have, chronic anxiety, anxiety and depression. So under the theme description, I'm going to go into anxiety and cognitive, which one? I want chronic, sorry. I want chronic pervasive impact. Okay, so I want to now do a deep dive into each one of those themes. I'll select some representative excerpts. And now I have that theme with the description of the theme, the codes involved, and some representative excerpts. I think I'm just going to stop there for a second, except to say that you can then download it. Okay. And in that downloaded document, which is on the other side. So, you have an editable Word document, okay, which is that rationale, with themes and rationales, and then a deep dive into each of the theme descriptions. Okay. The only other thing I would kind of want to highlight is the kappa coefficients. So when you have a project and the one caveat is that you really have to boil down those excerpts. You don't need 1,000 excerpts. You need several, 3 to 5 representative excerpts of that theme. And then you can go to the reliability tool. When you do that, you can put in raters, okay, that they're going to be shipped the themes or emailed, the themes and the excerpts, and they're going to do a matching task of that. Okay. All right. And then based on raters' responses or matching, under your insights document, you're going to have a little description about inter-rater reliability. Then for each pair of raters, okay, you'll have a kappa and a qualitative assignment to that. And with all of the raters, excuse me, pardon me. This is the 2 raters at a time, Marlon and Melissa here. And then here is the overall for all raters. Just flip that. This is helpful even going through the process to say, hey, gosh, my themes are not really clear with respect to those excerpts. So you can do it internally, but also for sure externally. And I also think this is really, really important for journals, that even when you're mixing humans and AI, and it's like, is this really valid? That's the proof. When you have inter-rater reliability from raters that have no idea where those codes and themes and excerpts came from, but yet they can identify, symptoms of depression, sleepy, not eating, not enjoying, whatever, rumination, can't think. Then that's the gold standard to me. And that really is the thing to do. I don't know if you need to do it for dissertations. I don't see it that often. It's a great practice that I 100% recommend. And we made it really simple to do it. Okay, most people didn't do it because it's too arduous, but you can do this. All right, so and try it. And I'm happy to talk about that. All right. I think with that being said, let's just go to some questions here. Is the project run separately for semi-structured interview and focus group discussions? Is the project run separately for semi-structured interviews and focus group discussions? Focus groups, I mean, you'll get excerpts from particular participants there. I mean, I think when you go into, let's just take the focus group case. I have one interview with 10 folks in there. Okay. When you're vetting, these things, just go into this for a second. I mean, you'll be able to see, you can go to each of these interviews, okay? And just make sure that you have that speaker identified in there. So if you're packing them all in, okay, you're going to need to, I think it's going to be helpful to know who said what. I've even recommended in semi-structured interviews when they have deans and faculty in the same interview to parse them out and run them separately. So that goes back to the initial part of this conversation, the webinar, when I'm starting about how are you putting in the data, and to be mindful of that. I hope that answers the question. Can you please show us again how you got the entry reliability tool? Sure. So the main login, okay, and it's just in those three dots. Let me get to a product that I own. Okay, so those three dots, and here's the reliability tool here. Okay. And I guess I could show you this. Hang on. So I create a snapshot. I have to put in a different email address. You can't put in your same email address. So invite Raider, and I think that's fine. Just to show you what we're talking about here. I mean, our chief programmer did an excellent job with this. If you knew the pain to do this manually, it's you can see. So I just got an email that says go to survey, and here's all my excerpts. Okay, and then I can just start it gives you a little instructions. Okay, and really now I'm just going through each of those excerpts, and I'm going to endorse which theme I think it goes with. Straightforward. When I did mine, we did like literally 10,000 kappas. A program had to be written. Here, made it so darn easy. You can just literally go through excerpt by excerpt, okay, and it will show you which ones until you finish this thing. Simple, simple, simple. A big win for integrated reliability happened here. Okay. Okay, can you show us how you access the bar chart from the insights? So sure. So let me get out of this and then go to this. I think it's okay. So the bar charts. So if you just go to these. Actually, I should go to somebody's real document. Okay, but not too personal. Okay. So when you have this is under the transcripts tab, you can go to the insights tab and then just scroll down to the bar chart. And then you can look at the codes by number of excerpts and interviewees, themes by number of excerpts by, okay, all right. Okay, other questions at the moment? I know with this many people here, we're gonna have those questions brewing in your head. No bad questions. Um, tell me what you're working on, and let's have a conversation or share your data. All right. So I guess I will go back to this. Um, let me just say a few other things here. One, we have a set of lessons that go with this, and these are competency-based lessons that go behind your LMS. Your grades go to your grade books. You can select the lessons you want, and put it behind your LMS, as I say. So lessons are there to be had. Also, I know we're here for qualitative, but since I have your attention for a moment, just to let you know, there's also a quantitative tool, which is also very, very easy to upload data. And the analysis really comes out in plain English, that the assumptions are built in, the assumptions are interpreted, APA tables, and interpretation. So for any of the quant or the qual tools, Ashley is your gal. So just to know, there's a quant tool with courses, there's a qual tool with courses, there's training, there's consulting. You can get consulting up either one of them, hour consulting or a whole project. And let me just jump back to this page, I think. Sometimes these things are all in the way. So just to go back, consulting, click here. Student support, click here. Faculty support, which is trials, demos for you and your colleagues. General questions here. And then here's some of our website information. Statistics Solutions has got, a lot of pages around quant and qual, mostly quant, but there is qual in there, as well as things about lit review and introduction and discussion. So this is a full-on website to help with really dissertations. Intellect and statistics and qualitative are the respective quant and qual tools. All right. Other questions at the moment? Any tools to help triangulate data? Oh, you are talking my language. At the moment, no. At the moment, no. No. But it's a reasonable, very reasonable question. At the moment, honestly, I would take the output from the quant, I would take the output from the qual, and tell Gemini or chat to synthesize it and triangulate it. Okay. So no, but I can only push so much, but I'd like to see that happen. Can you explain setting up any sub theme? Sorry if I missed it. So sure. So the sub theme business is really when you have qual and we go to business and openness. So if I have themes, so I can put this entire theme, AI driven, as a sub theme to this by stacking it right in there. So now I have this theme and implementation of growth. I can move this over, by the way. Why can't I move this over? There we go. So I have this theme with some straight up codes, and then I can have this sub theme in here. So that's the layering part. All right. Other questions, comments, feedback. I would love to hear what your thoughts are on this. This is useful. This is not useful. How do you compare it with other tools? Hey, gosh, InVivo's got videos and I use videos or whatever it is. I'd be interested in hearing your feedback or reading it and answering questions around that if you have them. All right. As I say, feel free to reach out to the powers that be here. Okay, so with additional questions that may come to you, I have one ask, which is share it with others. Folks don't know about this typically, and there's a lot of power in some of these AI and technology these days. So feel free to reach out, and just very happy to have you all join for a bit. So. All righty. Last questions. Transcripts only in English. I think it takes it in every language. I think the codes and themes came out in English, but it can read, 170 languages or some darn thing. So you could upload different language transcripts, and it will read them. All right. With that, I will close, and thank you all so much for your attention. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week, and look forward to seeing you next time. And you'll get an email with the video, with the video webinar and upcoming Quant and Qual webinars. So, thanks all. Take care. Bye bye.